Well, I don't know if you guys have actually heard this story here, but Byron Donalds from Florida, he's been in the news the last few days or so because Democrats are spinning what he actually said about the black family during Jim Crow. What he said is that during those times, man, the black family, for the most part, was intact. Now, he isn't the first person to actually say this. Larry Elder has been saying this for many, many years. But the Marxists left in the Democrat Party, man. Marxists want to destroy the nuclear family. They are perfectly okay with something like 25% of black kids not having a father in the home. They love that, man. They love that because they believe that those kids are ripe for Marxism. Because kids will do better, man, if they actually have a mother and a father in a home. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And I actually got some an article here back from 2010 by Pew Research, and it actually shows you the trends of mothers and fathers in the home. Unmarried mothers were kind of like almost unheard of back in like Jim Crow. It really wasn't happening that much. But today, yeah, there's a lot of them out there, man. Now, Byron Donalds, man, was on with Joy Reid, one of the dumbest people in the mainstream media. Byron Donalds was on her show, The Readout, and boy, this thing went off the rails, man. She wouldn't even let him answer a question because she wanted to push the propaganda. And she brought up this story about this young black kid, 15 years old. He ended up getting murdered, I believe, back in 1943 or 44 during Jim Crow in the state of Florida. She actually tried to use that as a weapon against what Byron Donalds was saying. It didn't make any sense, guys, but let's go ahead and get into this. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member live stream every single Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you're watching on Rumble, click the join button to get access to the same thing. So here we go. Right here. It's my show. Joy Reid spirals after marathon rant as Byron Donalds attempts to answer her question. But she didn't really want to hear it, man. She didn't. Says here, MSNBS host Joy Reid spiraled Thursday during her show, going on a nearly 3-minute rant to Republican Florida Rep Byron Donalds, preventing him from answering a question. Donalds appeared on The Readout to discuss a statement Donalds made while speaking at a Philadelphia event in which the lawmaker commented on how black marriage rates were higher during the Jim Crow era. That's a fact, though. Following Donalds' response to the pushback over his statement, Reid went into detail about a story in which a black son and father were brutally attacked and murdered during the Jim Crow era over the son's love letter to a white woman, stating that the black man in the home, quote unquote, had no rights, could not protect his wife from rape, could not protect his son from lynching, close quote. But the thing is, though, Byron Donalds never said that black people were better under Jim Crow. Now, the liberal media is spinning this here, and they're making it seem like Byron Donalds is saying that black people were better under Jim Crow. No, they weren't. He never said that. But it's a fact that the black family was more intact. Right here. If you look here, the black marriage rates for black people during like 1960, 72%. 72%. Now, actually, no, I'm lying. Actually, about 62%. I was looking at the wrong line right there. That black line is actually Hispanics. About 62% right there. 2008, it dropped all the way down to 32%. Now, I believe here also, actually, they have the numbers right here. So let me just read this here. In 1960, 61% of black adults were married. By 2008, that share had dropped to 32%. Yeah. Now, also right here, birth rates to unmarried women by race and ethnicity. Okay. So you can see black people here on this chart right here. It's like a kind of a yellowish kind of color. Back in 1970, 38% of women were giving birth out of wedlock. In 2008, it jumped up to 72%. 72%. That's just a fact, man. I wish I could actually find another article, that brought it up to date now in 2024, but the trend kept getting worse. But anyway, let's go ahead and react to this clip here of Joy Reid and Byron Donalds. Let's play it.
Now I'm going to talk. Do I have a chance? Good. Now, you talked about the black father being in the family, being able to protect the family. First, I want to read just for our audience the definition of Jim Crow, just so we all know what we're talking about. Jim Crow laws were a collection of state and local statutes that legalized racial segregation. They existed essentially from the post-Civil War era. They were meant to marginalize African Americans by denying them the right to vote, hold jobs, get an education, and other opportunities. Those who attempted to defy Jim Crow laws often faced arrest, fines, jail sentences, violence, and death. Now I want to talk about some.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there real quick. I wish Republicans, though, would actually do this. When people on the left and Democrats bring up Jim Crow, if I was Byron Donalds, I would actually ask her, okay, who actually implemented Jim Crow? They probably won't like the answer because it was Democrats. Democrats did that. They put those laws into effect to oppress black people.
Something that happened during this era. You said that what you were talking about was the presence of the black father in the home to protect his wife and family. In 1943, in the state that you represent, in Florida, a young man named Willie James Howard, who was 15 years old, was lynched. During Christmas of 1943, Willie Howard sent cards to all of his coworkers at the Van Priest dime store in Live Oak, Florida. Unlike the other cards, Willie's card to Cynthia Goff, a white store employee, revealed a youthful crush. His greeting expressed hope that white people would someday like black people and concluded, "I love your name, I love your voice. For SH, sweetheart, you are my choice." After reading the card, Cynthia's father, Phil Goff, brought two friends to the Howard home and demanded to see Willie.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there because one thing that she's not going to mention here, Phil Goff was the postmaster in that county. Also, he was a member of the Florida state legislature. He was a Democrat. Yeah.
Despite his mother's pleading, the men dragged Willie away and then kidnapped Willie's father, James Howard, from work. The men drove the two Howards, I should say, to the embankment of the Suwannee River, bound Willie's hands and feet, stood him at the edge of the water, and told him to either jump or be shot. Willie jumped into the cold water below and drowned while his father was forced to watch at gunpoint. Willie's dead body was pulled from the river the next day. You said that during the Jim Crow era, the importance of having a black man in the home was to protect his family and to protect his wife. I actually spoke with somebody who lived through Jim Crow. Her name is Merle Evers Williams. And Merle quoted to me a man named Charles Silverman, who wrote in Crisis in Black and White, that in 1890, the year that the Mississippi Constitution was written, the policy of crushing out the manhood of the Negro citizens was to be carried out with success.
By Democrats.
So the man in the home during Jim Crow had no rights, could not protect his wife from rape, could not protect his son from lynching. So again, why would you quote that era and say that at that time, the family all being in the home together was something we should think of as a good thing?
Well, first of all, Joy, the story you bring up and you're bringing up is a tragedy, one of the great tragedies of the Jim Crow era. This is why those policies they were disgusting and distasteful. All I was talking about, Joy, was the benefit
of a man in the family. Again, sir, I'm sorry, I let you talk for a long time. Sorry, talk over you. You've gotten a chance to speak a lot, Congressman. You're going to answer my question now and not filibuster. This is the question you want. This is the question you need to answer.
That's what I'm trying to answer. That's what I'm trying to answer, Joy.
Give me a
Are you
second.
going to let
Take
me
a
do
breath.
that?
Take
Are you going to let
a
me do
breath.
it? I would love
If
to do
a black man could not protect, it's my show. If a black man, a black father, could not protect his wife, his son, or himself from lynching and violence, how is him being in the home mean that that is an era that was better for the black family, or that we should think of as a good thing?
He never said that. See, these people in the mainstream media, these leftists, they lying.
First of all, Joy, I never said that it was better for black people in Jim Crow. I have never said that. And even my own words say that. If you're talking about the importance of black fathers in the home, or frankly, all fathers in the home, it is always for the betterment of children to have leadership. Yes, for safety. So having two people in the home to help provide the economic needs for those children so the family can succeed. That is a wonderful thing. We should always get back to that, not to Jim Crow. And this is the point of the gaslighting and the lying that is occurring with what I said. Don't try to impose the fact that the marriage rates were better in the higher, I want to be clear, higher in the Jim Crow era to mean that I think Jim Crow is great. That is a lie. That is gaslighting. I would never say such a thing. Which is why the Jim Crow era was destructive of black people.
You brought it up. You're the one who brought it up.
Let's get one more question. And now you're trying to gaslight like everybody else is trying to gaslight.
The timeline was when. Okay, one more thing.
Let you do.
Man, Joy Reid is really, really pathetic, man. Really, really pathetic. He was only talking about the era of Jim Crow, man. It's a fact that families were more intact in Jim Crow than they are now. That is a fact, man. I mean, guys, the left looks up to Lyndon Johnson, man. Lyndon Johnson, Democrat from Texas, 64 Civil Rights Bill. What he did, man, he ended up destroying the black family. He was a racist, by the way. He actually voted against some of the Civil Rights Bill in 56. He didn't like black people, man. But what he did was, man, he said, hey, these Negroes are getting a little bit uppity. The only reason why he actually passed the 64 bill is because he wanted to give them a few crumbs, okay? But then he would actually unleash policies to destroy the nuclear family, man. He would start making black women depend on the government instead of their husbands. Oh, you want that welfare check? Make sure there's no man in the home. That is what happened. That is the policies, man, of Lyndon Johnson. The man was a terrible president. A terrible president, man. It's unbelievable, man. Joy Reid, man. She's something else, man. She's one of the worst people in the media. I have no respect for her, man. They're out there trying to spin the words of Byron Donalds because he's definitely on Trump's list for VP. And they're trying to smear this man as a defender of Jim Crow, when that's what he was not doing that. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.